Good day. I just want to clear up some of the myths and clarity required around South Africa's energy mix and OUTA's position thereon. First thing is OUTA doesn't have an agenda to push anybody else's business case, not renewables, not gas, not coal, not nuclear, whatever it is. What we are wanting for this country is a clear plan, and what is that? A plan that is in the best interests of the country's economic requirements for and demand for electricity, and at the best price to the public. So here's the issue. We have an integrated resource plan, IRP. This is the plan which explains and deals with the various sources of energy on a long-term basis. And if you don't update that regularly, every 2 years at least, we have a problem. We have the knee-jerk reactions that we have of today, like the electricity minister calling for an extension to the old coal-fired power stations, or let's bring in the Karpowerships. That's going to solve our energy crisis. In the absence of an updated IRP, we have this chaos. And we call on government to update that IRP. It is an informed document, and it spells out what sources of energy we need and what is the best case for South Africa. So on this issue of renewables, just let's understand this. Renewables is the cheapest electricity in the country. It's about 40 cents, below 40 cents per kilowatt hour at the moment. Coal is around R1.30 to R1.50 per kilowatt hour. And nuclear is a lot more expensive unless you're looking at Koeberg, which has a life extension right now. Now let's come back to this whole issue of renewables. South Africa has about below 8% of its energy mix from renewables. Europe is averaging, some countries a lot more, some less, but Europe on average is around 3 times that, about 23-24%. So we have a serious issue here. We have a long way to go with renewables, and if you speak to the experts on renewables, they will tell you that had government taken up the renewable options over the last number of years, today we would have 0 to 1 or 2 levels of load shedding. That's the reality. So let's not get on this issue that OUTA is punting renewables to push their business case. It's a case that is in the best interest of this country. But let's talk quickly now about Karpowerships. This is this latest notion that everybody thinks is going to come and save us from load shedding. Well, it isn't. Firstly, Karpowerships was there's 3 floating ships that comes in and everybody thinks they're just going to arrive tomorrow and the electrons will flow the next day. It takes over a year to get Karpowerships up and running. That's the first myth that we need to know. And government has told us, and they have a plan that in the next year to 2 years, we should be over the crisis because Kusile comes back on stream with its 3 units that went down with the chimney collapse. Medupi comes back on stream with its unit that went down due to the boiler that exploded. And Koeberg comes back on stream with its 2 units that takes care of the long-term plan for Koebergs. And that deals with our energy crisis largely. Plus, if we can get on top of the corruption and the collusion and the sabotaging, which government should be able to do. It's really crazy that they can't. But anyway, so Karpowerships is not the saving grace. And even if it did come on stream in a year or so's time, just understand this. Government wants to lock us into a 20-year deal. Karpowerships energy at the time when the risk mitigation plan that was put in place to bring on an extra 2,000 megawatts, of which Karpowerships got 1,200 megawatts. That's one level of load shedding, by the way, one level. So now we want to bring on a 20-year deal that cost us at the time R1.50 per kilowatt hour. That's 220 billion rand for 20 years. Which is now doubled because the rand has tanked by 35% since then, and the cost of gas, which these Karpowerships provide energy from, has gone up double the price. In fact, it went up to 3 times the price recently, and it's come back to double the price now. So we're beholden to this fluctuation in gas and the fluctuation in the rand exchange rate, and we put that now at current day prices in the plan at 3 rand per kilowatt hour. 3 rand when renewables is 40 cents. So it's going to push the cost of electricity way through the roof. It's like trying to knock in a drawing pin with a sledgehammer. That's the idea that government has with the Karpowership plan. It is the most ridiculous plan for this country. It doesn't make sense. It lacks the transparency. It is shrouded in so much secrecy. OUTA has been in court for a year to get the information that we require and we're entitled to, and they don't want to give this information to us on the Karpowerships deal. NERSA grants them the license to generate before they even had the renewable, the environmental approvals and the Ports Authority approvals. So you've got to ask a question, what is actually going on here? This is a lot of smoke around an issue that is seriously wrong for this country. I hope that clears up. The View dispels some myths and shows you why Karpowerships is not in the best interests of this country, and OUTA is not pushing any agenda other than the agenda that is best for this country's economy and at lowest price to the consumer. Thank you.